Now, please welcome to the stage BST Global Chief Executive Officer, Javier A. Baldor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you all to the Straz Center for the Performing Arts in beautiful Tampa, Florida, and all our guests that are streaming this event live right now across the world, from the Americas, Europe, Middle East, Africa, and Australasia. Today is a very, very exciting and special day for us at BST Global. You see, I was on this very stage 2 years ago with my colleague, Debbie Preacher, as we unveiled our vision, not only for BST Global, but for the AEC industry at large. Today, our vision comes to life. But first, let me begin by introducing you to BST Global. We do one thing: we design, engineer, and deliver project-based ERP and work management software solutions for the world's leading architects, engineers, and environmental consultants. We've been blessed to do this for 52 years. Today also represents a tribute to my late father, Carlos Baldor Sr., who founded BST Global in 1971 and served as our visionary for 50 years. He taught us many things, in particular, always take care of the family. And to him, BST was a huge part of his family. Always take care of our clients and listen to them, for they will show us the way. And always, always innovate and lead from the front. Never follow. And that's exactly what we've done here today. So let me share with you how we got here. In 2020, our leadership team visited with our managers and staff professionals across the world to define our passion and our why. Why do we get up each and every morning, and what do we love to do? And a few themes came forward. We love to create. We love to innovate. We love to collaborate as a team. And we love to help people. And from this, our mission statement was born: to help you change the world one project at a time. You see, it is you as architects, engineers, and environmental scientists that are literally changing the world one project at a time each and every day. It is you that is tackling and solving the biggest challenges the built environment has ever witnessed. It is you that is solving the climate change crisis before us. It is you that designs these beautiful bridges that get us safely from point A to point B. It is you that designs and engineers these majestic cities that we get to live with our families every day. It is you that delivers safe and clean drinking water that sustains our healthy lifestyle. And it is you that designs and engineers these amazing sports venues that we get to celebrate our favorite sports teams with our families and children and create lasting memories. We knew we wanted to make a significant impact, one that would last. It is you that inspires us with your passion, energy, and creativity for the biggest challenges we face in the built environment. We believe that we could design and build better software that would save you time, make you more productive, and more efficient, so you could spend more time living your passion. And if you did that, and when we did that, you'd be happier. And when you're happier, you could deliver better project outcomes. And when you did that, your consultancy would flourish and prosper. And as your partner, so would we. We knew we had our work cut out for us. So during the pandemic, we began a series of focus groups with hundreds of project managers and project team members spanning 5 continents around the world to better understand their needs, their challenges, ambitions, and the opportunities before them. We learned of this little-known tool called Excel. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it was used for everything. It was this constellation of Excel spreadsheets for estimating projects, initiating projects, planning projects, staffing projects, scope, assumptions, risk. It went on and on and on. We asked them why. Why aren't you using your ERP system? Many of them had spent years, if not millions of dollars, implementing their ERP system. And the project manager said simply, we don't use it. And a few themes came forward. It's just too complicated. I don't understand this. It's actually built for our finance and accounting team. It's not built for me as a project manager. I almost feel I have to be a chartered accountant in order to use this thing. It's just convoluted. There's too many tabs, 14 or 15 of them across the top, and 15 menu items along the side, and all this data on the screen. It's just overwhelming. We also heard this notion of it just being reactionary, and it made sense to us because all the data that project managers were using to manage their projects actually came from accounting. It was historical data in nature. They shared they felt they were almost driving a car using a rear view mirror. All of this led to tremendous inefficiencies across the project team and frustration as well. But there was one more thing that we heard. We asked them to describe how they felt about the user experience of their ERP system. And some were choice adjectives. I'll leave it at that. It's dated, it's old, it's terrible, it's awful. Does anyone know what this image is before you? It's a BlackBerry, circa the year 2000. And probably this is when many ERP systems were designed and built. This is what project managers and project teams are using each and every day, and they don't like it at all. So what's the impact of all of this to your consultancy? We set off to do some research. We published the State of the AEC Project Lifecycle Report, where we interviewed 20 of the world's leading engineering and design consultancies across the world. And we chronicled this key performance metric called revenue leakage, or money being left on the table in effect. And for these firms, 6% of their projects were witnessing revenue leakage, and they wanted to cut that in half to 3%. Another key metric for our industry is utilization. According to the Clarity Report, in 2005, utilization stood at 61.5%. Fast forward to 2021, it had actually gone down by 3 full percentage points to 58.5%. According to SPI, Service Performance Insight, which chronicled 650 professional service firms, the best of the best, or the top 30 firms in the world, were traveling at utilization rates of 74.5%. That's a prize for our industry of 16 percentage points. Why is that so important? If you're able to improve utilization by 1 percentage point, 1/2 of that 1% goes straight to your bottom line, which is huge. Speaking of profitability, median profitability, according to EFCG, in 2007 stood at 12%. Fast forward to 2021, it had increased 1.1% to 13.1%. SPI survey found that the best of the best, the top 30 in the world, are traveling at 26.5%. That's a prize of 13% for our industry. After all this investment, after all this time, after all this energy, after all this technology, it seems as if the car is revving and revving and revving, and it's just not moving forward. we strongly believed that the needle could be moved forward, and it would be us that would design and build solutions that would accomplish that. And our vision was crafted, the journey to project intelligence. We would build a system for project managers that had actually been designed by hundreds of project managers across the world. We would go deep to address the specific needs and capabilities and user experience that project managers and project teams would love and embrace. There would be 3 design pillars behind everything we would do. First, it would have to be consumer grade. What do I mean by consumer grade? It became very simple to us. Think Apple and Google class products. You know it when you see it. They're beautiful. Project teams and project managers were also always on the go as we spoke to them. So what we designed and built would have to travel with them seamlessly across desktops, tablets, and mobile phones. And it would have to be easy, just like your iPhone. No one teaches you how to use your iPhone. So why is it so hard to use your project and resource management system? It should be as easy as an iPhone with no training at all. It would be smart. What do I mean by smart? We would infuse AI and machine learning into everything we would do to offer forward predictive positions in the palm of project managers' hands, to allow them to course correct and change the trajectory of projects to a positive outcome. Where do we get this idea from? Waze. I'm a huge fan of Waze GPS, mobile-based GPS system. What's awesome about Waze is that they take digital signals coming from Wazers. Those are drivers, and there's about 140 million of them worldwide. And these digital signals include things like there's congestion, traffic, an accident, a policeman around the corner, construction, whatever it may be. And Waze takes those digital signals and runs it through a series of algorithms and then redirects you in the most efficient path from point A to point B and in the most timely path. We thought to ourselves, why can't we create the Waze for projects? We would track and monitor 34 to 35 digital signals, the type of signals that impact the health of a project. Next, we would run them through 8 to 10 machine learning models. And the output would be put in the palm of a project manager. And that output would be extremely accurate, 95 to 98% accuracy, so that they could course correct and change the trajectory of their projects. We're going to share that with you here live today. The third pillar would be collaborative. Every great team collaborates. During the pandemic, something became very, very apparent to us. This notion of a digital water cooler. What is that digital water cooler? It's Microsoft Teams. That's where project teams convene and meet and share and collaborate on information. Our vision became very clear. Why don't we meet the project manager and the project team right where they are each and every day? Bring our project and resource management information right there, where they post, share files, and then do their analytics with Microsoft Power BI. Today, we are introducing the iPhone, a project management, resource management, and data solutions for the AEC industry. Today, we're introducing 3 industry-first products, unlike anything you've ever seen before. First, BST Insights. It's an AI-powered predictive insights application in the palm of your project team's hands. Audere Resource Management, industry-first cloud and smart resource management platform for the modern workforce. And yes, BST 11 Work Management, consumer grade and smart project planning and resource management solution for your project operations. All of these new, exciting, and innovative products would seamlessly connect with the BST 11 ERP solution to holistically offer a complete perspective on your entire business. But we wanted to go farther. We wanted to touch everyone across the world. So today we're announcing that BST Insights, Audere, and BST 11 Work Management will also seamlessly connect with your existing ERP system, BST, Oracle, Deltek, SAP, or whatever ERP system you may have. Let me say that again. Our consumer grade and smart products, industry first products, will complement and connect seamlessly to your present ERP system. You don't have to change that to provide these innovative offerings that your project managers want and need. It's my pleasure now to introduce you to Debbie Preacher, who's going to show it to you live. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello and welcome. Today, we begin to revolutionize the way in which your project leaders and teams initiate, execute, and manage their projects and teams going forward. There are many people and roles that contribute to the success of every project. Your project managers, people managers, perhaps some of you refer to them as resource managers, project directors, and of course, team members, each with their own needs and challenges as they work together to deliver the project. So what better way to experience the journey to project intelligence than through their eyes and actions as they navigate the day in the life of a project? Well, it all starts with the person at the helm, our project manager. He certainly has his unique set of challenges, but he needs a user experience that is simple and intuitive to allow him to manage his projects. It is my pleasure to welcome Scott Tate as he walks us through the Project Manager's Day.
Thank you, Debbie, and hello, everyone. I am very excited today to be able to show you the BST 11 project app. Now, you heard earlier from Javier that through the course of designing and developing the BST 11 project app, we've interviewed literally hundreds of project managers from across the globe. And one of the things we heard very clearly from those project managers was that as a project manager, I need to be able to access my portfolio of projects anywhere, anytime, and on any device, whether it be my desktop, my tablet, or my mobile phone. So for me, first thing in the morning, as I'm sitting down to a good breakfast, I like to start to analyze the health of my portfolio of projects. And I do that by opening up my portfolio on the BST 11 project app. Now, I want to start with what you're not seeing on the screen. What you're not seeing is a complex, convoluted menu system. BST 11 project app is consumer grade. Again, think Apple, think Google products. The functionality that I need as a project manager will be available to me when and where I need it as I traverse through the application. The BST 11 project app is also web responsive. So whether I'm working again on a desktop, my mobile phone, or right here on my tablet, it responds beautifully to the screen size that's available. And so, for example, on my tablet, if I just rotate to landscape mode, you'll see that I get a beautiful user experience, again, on any device and any surface. It is not simply built for a desktop and then it ports poorly down to other devices. It is beautiful on any device, again, web responsive. What I am looking at is my portfolio of projects. And each of these projects is represented by a code, a name, and one of these beautiful images. And those images not only invoke my passion as a project manager on each of these projects, they also allow me, at a glance, to find a particular project that I'm interested in reviewing. Now, I've sorted my projects right now by recently modified, so projects that I'm looking at the top are things that I've been working on recently. There are other sort criteria. I can sort by client or by project name. And as I tap a particular project, you'll see that it opens up, and I get this beautiful view of my project. Now, I get my task structure on the left, and on the right-hand side, I get these beautiful Gantt bars that show me the start and finish date of each of these project tasks. Now, a little about the task structure on the left. It can be as simple as one task. For short duration projects that'll be finished within a week or two, I'm not forced to use an artificial work breakdown structure. I can create just a simple one task that's sufficient for executing against this project. Conversely, if I have a sophisticated project that's going to run for multiple years, I can have thousands of tasks in this project plan, up to 10 levels deep of indentation. And so what that allows me to do as a project manager is I can build my project plan in the way that best serves my team and the project needs without being constricted by, again, artificial project terms. So we said earlier that we are consumer grade. If I come, for example, and tap on elevation, you'll see that I get these action bubbles. This is the functions that I can perform on this particular task. And so I can, for example, grab that task, and I can just extend the end date out a couple of days. It's just that simple to change start and finish dates on a project. Similarly, if I want to mark a task as a milestone, I simply tap the milestone action button, and you see the little purple diamond to the right of the taskbar that shows me that this is an important task. Lastly, I want to talk to you a little bit about dependencies. Dependencies is a mechanism for me to say that one task must finish before another task can start. And so, if, for example, I want to define that elevation must finish before site and floor plan starts, as I tap site and floor plan, you'll see that the start date moves out to the right, because the system's telling us that that dependency is going to be in play. Beautifully easy to adjust my project plans right here using the BST 11 project app. I want to point your attention to another design paradigm that we borrowed. On the bottom right-hand side, you'll see this purple floating action button. We borrowed that from Google, and it is an unobtrusive yet ever-present ability for me to perform high-level functions, workflow functions on this particular project. And so the system understands that I've made some edits to this particular project, and it offers me workflow actions to move this project through workflow, submit it, if you will, for approval. And so now, if I wanted to look at another project, I can certainly go back to the home page, and I can sort through that same list of projects that we saw earlier. But I want to point out another really helpful design option for me here, and that is my project drawer. So as I open my project drawer, I see those same sets of cards of projects sorted and filtered the way that I left them on the home page. And now I can scroll through, for example, and select Copacabana Palace. And as I do so, you'll see that that is now replaced on the right-hand side. So if I close my project drawer, I'm now looking at the Copacabana Palace project. And in this scenario, I want to understand a little bit more about the time frame of this particular project at a high level. And so I've been looking at projects at a daily mode, but I want to point out here near the top, I have a day, week, month switcher. And as I switch to a monthly view, you see that I have those same beautiful Gantt bars Just now, I'm kind of at a higher time frame level, looking at a monthly level. I also might want to, instead of looking at the minutia of every single task on here, I might want to start analyzing my project at more of a high-level phase perspective. And so I can come in and show levels and collapse my structure down to level 2, which is the equivalent of my phases. Now, all of those subtasks that were underneath each of those phases has now been collapsed, and I'm seeing my structure just at a phase level. Gives me a better perspective of the time frames from a high-level phases. Lastly, if I wanted to start seeing a full Gantt view, I have that capability as well. All of those task names that were listed on the left have now been tucked under each of the appropriate Gantt bars beautifully, giving me a solid overview of phase by phase how we're going to execute on this project. It's a beautiful view, whether I'm looking at an individual project at a daily level or looking at it across a longer horizon. BST 11 makes it very easy for me to analyze my projects. Now, as I wrap up my morning breakfast and I start to head into the office, I'm thinking about the different tasks that I still need to complete. I certainly want to do a deeper analysis of my portfolio of projects. I want to start preparing for a client meeting that I have later this afternoon. And I need to set up a new project for one of our clients. And let me show you how easy that is to do on the BST 11 project app on my desktop. So as I get to the desktop, I'm seeing that same portfolio of projects, still sorted the way that we had them, beautifully designed and laid out beautifully, intuitively on the desktop. And I said I wanted to do a little deeper analysis of these particular projects. I want to go beyond just the code and the name. And so I can switch to a list view, and I start to see additional information about these projects. I start to see, for example, the budget, the effort, the revenue. And indeed, I have access to 25 plus additional properties about each of these projects that I can bring to light and analyze. And so one of my favorite metrics is variance. I'm going to go ahead and add that right now. And as with any consumer-grade application, I can certainly pick up my columns and move them in any order that I choose. Let me talk to you a minute about variance. Variance is one of my favorite project analysis metrics. Variance, in its simple form, is just a calculation of revenue that we've earned to date on this particular project, minus the effort that we've expended so far in bringing the project to where we are to date. And so it's an important metric because if I'm spending more money in effort than I'm earning in revenue, that's certainly not something that's sustainable long term. So I like to look at my projects from a variance perspective as one of the mechanisms. And I might come in, for example, and sort by negative variance. Look for those worst performing variance projects, if you will. And I see Soccer City Stadium, for example, has a negative variance of $38,000. That means that we have, again, spent $38,000 more in effort than we've earned in revenue on this particular project. Now, maybe it could be that we've got to do some revenue recognition, or it could be that we are just being inefficient with our team. And we're going to explore that as a team when I get back together with my team. Conversely, if I sort again, I start to see some of those better performing variance projects. And so I see Santiago Bernabeu, for example, which has a positive variance of $8,200. So these positive ones can certainly be models that we might use as we execute against other projects to help us find best options. Now, I mentioned that I wanted to also start preparing for a client visit. And one of the things I can do is sort and filter. And so as I open my filter criteria, you see that I have a number of different filter criteria. I can filter by project start dates, budget, work type. And in this case, I'm visiting a client, and I can search and filter, for example, in this case, by West Bank Associates. And as I apply that filter, you see my portfolio has been condensed down to the 3 projects that we're working on for West Bank Associates. I'm going to close this filter, and I'm going to go ahead and remove that client name because we know that these are all for West Bank, and that basically just gives me a little more room to analyze the health of my West Bank projects. So now I'm prepared. I can see the health and the overall budget, for example, of these projects for West Bank, the overall revenue variance position. I'm prepared to visit that client this afternoon. And the last thing that I mentioned that I need to do is create a new project. Well, BST 11 is also discoverable. The capability that I need is intuitive, right where you'd expect it. I'm here on my homepage looking at a portfolio of projects, and I need to add a new project. Very intuitively at the very top right here, there's a plus button. As I click this button, I see two options. I can create a new project from scratch, or I can copy an existing project or template. And I want to copy an existing project or template, and I want to talk to you just a moment about the importance of templates. Templates are former projects or models of projects that we've executed in the past and we've been very successful with as a company. And so we can use those templates, store that institutional learning, if you will, on how we executed against those projects, and bring that learning and that best practices forward as we go to create new projects, always improving our projects as we go forward by learning from the past. And so in this case, I see not only my portfolio of projects, but I start to see some of those templates effaced right here. And I know that in this case, I want to build a new skyscraper project. And so as I type sky, you can see that I get two matches here. One is for Sky New York City, that is a residential complex that we're working on. And the other is that commercial skyscraper template. And that's what I want to work with. I want to build a new commercial skyscraper, and I want to use that template to leverage the knowledge of our past. So as I select next, the application is going to ask me for just 6 simple properties. Now we understand through the life cycle of a project, whether I'm starting at the project manager, going through the project director, ultimately through finance and accounting, there will be many, many properties about a project that we'll need to efface and bring to light. And as we move these projects through workflow, we will indeed efface each one of those properties and make them available. But one of the things we also heard from our project managers as we interviewed them through this process is that I want to get up and running on my projects as quickly as possible. I want to get to my task structure, I want to get to my time frames of my task start and finish dates, and I want to do that as quickly as possible without having to spend 30 minutes to an hour setting up other ancillary data. We'll get to that when it's appropriate, but for now, get me up and running really quickly. And we heard that loud and clear. And so as we talked to those project managers, these were the 6 properties that they identified as most critical to get up and running with a project. So I'm going to create a project here, and we're going to call it the Gherkin. And we're going to get a code. And we're going to work on this project for Safra, one of our clients. And our fee for this is $1.2 million. So as I hit create, BST 11 is going out. It's reviewing that commercial skyscraper template. It's finding all the properties, all the associated benefits of each of those tasks that are part of commercial skyscraper, bringing them forward into a new project called the Gherkin. And we get this beautiful view of the Gherkin right here. Now, I mentioned that BST 11 project app is intuitive. One of the things that happens before I start a project, unfortunately, is that we might have to delay the start of this project through permitting or there's some other factors. Very intuitively, if I needed to delay the start of a project, I can simply pick up the Gantt bar, drag it out to the right, and watch as I drop this. All of those other subtasks will flow underneath. Beautifully. It is just that simple to create and adjust project plans inside of the BST 11 project app. Now this brings me to my next task that I need to do. I've created the Gherkin project, but I need to start looking for team members to help me work on this particular project. And before I do that, I want to point out another design paradigm that we borrowed from Google, and that is this micro app selector. A moment about micro apps. I've been sharing with you the BST 11 project app and how consumer grade and intuitive it is. One of the big reasons for that is it's focused. It is focused on just the tasks that I, as a project manager, need to do to set up, manage, and analyze my projects. It's not burdened with other ancillary features that aren't relevant to a project management's activities. And so that is a micro app. We have other micro apps. You'll see Insights in just a few moments. We have analytics micro apps, and each one of them is focused on a particular task. It allows them to be, again, consumer grade, intuitive. Again, think Apple, Google, right? Very easy to understand, not a lot of training. They're focused, they're beautiful. And the last one that I want to point out to you is Audere. This is our resource management application. And so all of these micro apps are focused and distinct, but they will be integrated on the back end so that they'll share data as we migrate from one micro app to the next. And so, for example, as I launch Audere, I'm brought into context. As a project manager, Audere understands that I was working on the Gherkin project in the BST 11 project app and brings me right in focus to that particular project. I can expand my task structure, and I see those same tasks, again, that were originally borrowed from the commercial skyscraper, became part of the Gherkin, are now available to me right here inside of Audere. And so one of the things I can do very easily in Audere is I can start to find team members, whether they be named people or whether I just say I need a role, I need somebody to help me fill this role. I can do that very easily in Audere, and let me show you how that's done. If I need, for example, an architect for 4 weeks, I simply come in and drag across conceptual design for 4 weeks, and I get this assignment panel in the bottom right. I can quickly say that I need an architect, and Audere's going to assume that I need 100% of this person's time, so 4 weeks, 40 hours a week is 160 hours. As I create this assignment, it shows up beautifully right here in a weekly mode. Similarly, if I needed 2 weeks of an associate partner, drag in my 2 weeks, select my associate partner. Again, that beautiful, that seamless. Now, in truth, I don't need a full 2 weeks of associate partner. I need about 8.5 days. And so let me show you how easy it is to transition from a weekly view to a daily view. As I switch to daily view, you'll see that instead of 2 40-hour-a-week assignment requests for the associate partner, I see 10 8-hour days. So I'm now in a daily analysis of these assignments. And very intuitively, just what you'd expect. If I only need 9 days, I simply grab the right edge of this assignment bar, drag it left 1 day, and I'm sitting on 9 days worth of work. Similarly, all of these cells are editable. We call it contouring. I can come in and say, I don't need a full 8 hours. I just need, perhaps on this last day, I just need 4 hours of this associate partner. It's that simple to make adjustments. Now, I can go through and certainly complete my assignment requests across the entire task structure here. But I think you see how easy it is to set up and make assignments inside of Audere. Now, I can certainly set up all of these assignments as roles or people, as I mentioned earlier. But in this case, I'm going to allow my people manager, John, to help me find the best named people to fill this architecture and associate partner role. Thank you.
And just like that, our project manager has assessed his portfolio. He has adjusted projects to meet what seems like the ever-changing needs of his clients. He initiated and resourced his new project, all while on the go and in the office. Well done, Scott. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next key contributor to our project team is the people manager. Now, his focus is twofold. He wants to be sure he's allocating the right people to meet all the project manager's needs. He's also watching and making sure that his team is fully utilized and they are notified of new assignments or changes to existing assignments. It is my pleasure to welcome John Matthew as he walks us through the very dynamic day of the people manager.
Thanks, Debbie. Hello, it is good to be with you today. As a people manager, I want to stay connected with my team, and Audere is a game changer for me. I like to use Audere on my morning commute into the office. Just like BST 11, Audere is a responsive web app. So on the train, all I need is my tablet, a browser, and an internet connection. Looking at Audere, we see it here in its dark theme. Earlier, you saw Scott use Audere to staff his new project in its light theme. Both look fantastic. Both are available to each user of Audere based on their preference and their setting. I have Audere open on the schedule screen in a people-oriented view. This allows me to easily look at my team listed on the left side here and see their work allocations visually displayed on the right side. On any given day for any person, I can see how much work they have. On days that are fully filled by a bar, I know that my team member is fully staffed that day. On a day that they may have no bar at all or a partially filled bar, I know that they've got remaining availability to take on additional work. I can also see some days, like for Sadie and Philip here, where they have bars that are capped by red indicators. This tells me that they are over-allocated for those days. This visual display of my team's work allocation across my studio's project portfolio is really easy for me to consume. When I used to use a spreadsheet, my spreadsheet threw a wall of numbers at me. That was really tough to digest. This is so much better. Another thing that's common for me as a people manager is to focus on the here and now. This daily view, this daily timescale that I'm in, allows me to easily see what my team is working on this week and next week. But as a people manager, I also want to look farther out ahead in time so I can anticipate staffing needs for my team. And so I can use Audere's timescale capability to move from a daily timescale easily to a weekly timescale, even to a monthly timescale. Looking at the weekly timescale, I can now see 10 weeks ahead. And I can see that 2 new assignments have shown up, one for an architect and one for an associate partner. As I tap on these rows, I can get more context into this upcoming work. I see that both of these assignments are associated with a project called the Gherkin. This is a new project for me, and I'd like to get more information about it so that I can make better staffing decisions. In the past, when we were all using spreadsheets, I'd have to go track down the project manager for this new project, get their work plan, manually load it into my spreadsheet so I could start to make sense of who would be best fit and available to work on this new project. Well, now with Audere, we're all working in the same system. And I've got a handy project-based view that I can pivot to that's built off the same data to allow me to gain perspectives on the projects that my studio is working on. As I scroll this list, I see the new Gherkin project listed along with the rest of the project in my studio's portfolio. I can tap this Gherkin project row, expand it, and I see the 5 phases that have been set up underneath it. Starting with conceptual design, which has over 200 hours of role-based work associated to it that I need to staff to my team. Just tapping on the conceptual design phase, I can get additional details. and I see that this work is associated to an architect and an associate partner. Now, with Audere, it is really easy to connect people to projects. I can do it right here. I can also do it back on the people-based view that I started out on. Now, as I think about which architects in my studio might be a best fit for this project, I have a really handy filter capability that I can take advantage of. By tapping the filter button on the left side of the screen, I open up a panel that gives me a series of properties that I can filter by. These are both project-based properties and people-based properties. As I scroll this list, I see a property called role. And I am looking for architects, so I'm going to tap the architect role, hit apply, and just like that, I am zoned in on the architects in my studio. I see that the first 3 architects listed are busy during the time frame of this new assignment. But the fork architect, Jace, he's got availability to work on the Gherkin project if I can shift around some of his upcoming work. So I'm going to keep that in mind. I also need to look for an associate partner. So I go right back to the filter panel, go right back to the roles filter, and now I tap associate partner. Hit apply, and now I'm looking at my associate partners. I've got 3 in my studio, and it looks like all 3 of them are busy. They're not going to be able to work on this project. But my firm, we believe in work sharing. We believe in finding the best people across all of our studios to work on projects so that we can deliver the best value for our clients and maximize utilization. And I know my colleague, Carissa, who runs the New York studio, she's got a great associate partner in her studio. And I want to take a peek into her studio's workload. Now, in the past, this would have required me tracking down Carissa and her latest staffing spreadsheet, overlaying that on top of my staffing spreadsheet so we could make sense of who is the best fit for this new project. Now with Audere, I just go right back to this filter panel. And now I go down to the Teams filter, and I'm going to pivot from my London studio to look into Carissa's New York studio. As I hit apply, I now see the associate partner, Sheila, in Carissa's studio. And good news, it looks like she's got availability to work on this project. So as my commute into the office comes to an end, I'm going to shoot Carissa a quick note to see if Sheila indeed can take on this new project. I'm going to head into the office. And I can look forward to continuing my work in Audere on my laptop. As I get to my laptop, I see that I've gotten a message back from Carissa. And she's given me the green light to put Sheila on this project. And so I launch Audere. One of the beautiful things about Audere is that it has been designed to seamlessly transition between devices. And so as I open up Audere on my laptop, it retains the same view and the same filters that I left it with on my tablet. So I can continue to do the work that I started on the train. Now, as I get ready to reassign this associate partner work to Sheila, let me welcome Sheila to the stage so we can take a look at her Audere experience in parallel with mine. Hi, Sheila. Good to see you. Sheila's got Audere open on her phone. And while I'm looking at the schedule screen in Audere on my laptop, Sheila is looking at Audere's home screen on her phone. This home screen is tailored to team members so that they can look at their current and upcoming assignments. For me, reassigning work is really easy. I just click on this assignment and change the assignee, in this case, to Sheila. Now, Sheila understandably doesn't have this assignment on her phone just yet, but notice that when I hit apply here, this assignment moves on my screen and in real time appears on Sheila's homepage. She can even tap the assignment to get more information about it. Audere is a live system. I stay in sync in real time with my team members. Sheila, thanks so much for joining this project. Good to see you. I've got one more assignment that I want to staff, and that's for the architect. So I'm going to change my filter from associate partner to architect, and I'm going to go back into my studio because it was Jace that I wanted to give this work to. So with that, let me welcome Jace to the stage, and we can take a look at his Audere experience. Hi, Jace. I've got a great new project for you, but first we're going to have to shift one of your upcoming assignments. So as I open Jace's row on my schedule screen, I get full visibility into his current and upcoming assignments, just like he has on his phone. Now, looking back at the new Gherkin assignment, I can see that its time frame overlaps one of Jace's assignments, specifically on the W Barcelona project and the schematic design phase. I see that after that schematic design phase wraps up, there's a 1-week buffer before the next assignment starts up. So I know I can shift this workout a week. For me, shifting this workout is really easy. I can just drag it and move to the right. But before I do that, let's note that this assignment starts the week of June 11th. More specifically, starts on June 12th. That's what Jace sees on his phone. As I click this assignment and move it to the right, as soon as I let go, not only does the assignment move on my screen, but Jace sees the date range for that assignment shift in real time. Going back to the Gherkin assignment, I just click it, change the assignee to Jace, and very similar to Sheila's experience, Jace is now going to see that new assignment show up on his home screen in real time, and he too can tap it to open it up and get more detail. Jace, you're going to do great on this new project. Great to see you. Thanks. Thank you for taking this peek into my day as a people manager. As you can see, Audere is a fantastic tool for me to use to collaborate with my project managers, my fellow people managers, and stay connected with my team. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Also contributing to the success of every project is our project director. Now, her goal is to always be looking forward on the horizon with a watchful eye on the progress and health of the entire portfolio, whether that be projects she manages or that of her team. She wants to steer clear of any adverse impacts to the project by identifying issues early and making changes today to ensure a successful outcome. She is also very passionate about developing her team, and she does that through coaching and recognizing challenges and successes along the way. Now, many would say that doing all that is as much of a science, an art, as it is a science. Well, that may be true, but the good news for our project director is we're going to give her everything she needs right at her fingertips. She'll be able to understand the present, see the future, and take action today that could change the trajectory of the project. Just think about that for a moment. Never before have we had a predictive insight or clarity on how or when to influence the project's outcome and success. It's a game changer for me, and the possibilities revolutionary. I'm so excited. I would really welcome the opportunity to show you myself. Thank you. Well, my day best starts when I could take a few minutes of quiet time with my protein shake and sit and just take a look at my portfolio and understand how it's moving forward, the general health, but most importantly, what actions can I work with my team on to ensure success. So as I settle in, I'm going to open up BST Insights on my mobile device. BST Insights gives me a very high-level overview of my portfolio, and it does so in a prediction summary. Below the prediction summary is my portfolio of projects, each project having its very own card. what I first understand about my portfolio is listed in the prediction summary. BST Insights is using a key metric, net labor multiplier, to help me understand, if you will, the proxy of my profit for this portfolio. The net labor multiplier is simple but powerful. It tells me the factor above cost that I'm earning in this portfolio. So as I look at my prediction summary, BST Insights is giving me a number of visual cues to let me know how I'm doing quickly and simply. So here in the prediction summary, I have first noted that my current actual net labor multiplier is a 2.84. In the next 30 days, it is predicted to be a 2.79. Now I quickly pick up that both these numbers are in red. Well, that's because they are both below my goal of a 3.0. It's not much of a predicted drop, but it's certainly one that I want to understand more about. As I scroll through my project portfolio, there are a number of projects listed, all with key information about the project's health. Here in the Burj Al Arab Hotel project, it's clearly noted what the current net labor multiplier is over the next 30 days. There's another key piece of information that's presented here in BST Insights that me and my team rely heavily on, and that's understanding the monetary impact of the predicted net labor multiplier, because my team then doesn't have to worry about the calculation of net labor multiplier or algorithms. It's listed there in plain speak as to the monetary impact of the prediction. And that's really all that matters. And so BST Insights presents the portfolio with the highest monetary impact listed first. I truly think that is a powerful way to get my team focused on the projects that need our attention the most. Now, certainly I will come upon a project, much like the Burj project, where I need to know more. Why? Why is the predicted net labor multiplier beginning to drop? As I click on any project in my portfolio, I'll be presented with the details about that project. The trend of the net labor multiplier is very clear to me as it presents here in BST Insights. I know where I am today. I can see what has happened prior to today. I see both what was predicted and what actually happens. It's another key aspect about BST Insights that really helps my team, because it begins to build that confidence in really leveraging BST Insights for the information it's given me, and that it's accurate. I also get to see the right of the today line, and there's our predictions. At any point, I can click on any one of the points over the next 30 days to get the specific predicted net labor multiplier. Once again, the visual cues are clear. On my prediction, if I'm above goal, the area will be green. If I'm not, it's going to be red. So I can clearly see a full picture of the project in the next 30 days. There are other views I can use here in BST Insights. For example, project to date. As I look now before the today line, this is the full history of the project. I can see how I've traveled. I can see what I've actually done against predicted. Once again, really driving the confidence that BST Insights is a tool we can really take action on to help our projects be successful. But it all comes down to why. Why is the predicted net labor multiplier dropping? Well, BST simply tells me that right below the trend chart. Now, there are two key factors listed here that are impacting the predicted net labor multiplier. These are coming from those 35 digital signals that Javier mentioned earlier. It has found patterns and anomalies in this project data, and that is what's causing the prediction to be as it is shown. Much like all of BST Insights, the factors that are having the greatest impact on the prediction are listed first. Here we see two factors. First, there are employees with a low effective multiplier. Second, their write-offs on the project are predicted to impact it. Now, write-offs are a funny thing because it's often not the big write-offs that cause the prediction to drop. It's often the little ones that people lose track of along the way. But in this case, the highest monetary impact is that of the low effective multiplier. Well, BST clearly tells me what that means. There are employees that I have working on the project whose cost profile is higher than what I'm able to earn based on the commercial terms of the project. That leads me to the next natural question. Well, who are they? And so as I click on the factor, I am presented with the top 3 employees that we're detecting. Here it's Mike, Miguel, and Amber. Once again listed in highest impact first. And it is clear that Mike's cost profile is high enough that it's only yielding us a 1.54 predicted net labor multiplier. Now, I've worked with Mike a long time. He is talented, he is experienced, and he is dedicated. So I certainly don't have any problem with what he's doing on the project. But the reality is, the more I continue to use Mike, the lower his net labor multiplier will be. So I think what might help here before I head to the office is to drop John a note as well and see if there's perhaps someone else on the team with a little lower cost profile that could help me and thereby help this project yield a stronger outcome of a net labor multiplier. Well, I best get to the office myself, have a couple of key meetings today, one being that my team meeting and the other being an operations leader meeting later on this afternoon. So I get to my office, I'm going to go ahead and launch BST Insights here on my desktop. And the experience is familiar. I understand the navigation. It's exactly as I was experiencing on my mobile device, with my prediction summary at top and the portfolio listed below. Now, because I am going into a team meeting, I think it'll be better if I can resort the portfolio by project manager so I can get my bearings on how each team member is doing. So I'll use the BST Insights sort to help me do that and sort by project manager. And as I do that, I'm now presented with each of the projects by project manager. And within a project manager, they too are sorted with highest monetary impact first. And that's huge for me, so that I can take away those projects and action items I want to work with each of the project managers to see how we can change the trajectory. And so here I see listed Bill Cooper's projects. I will see all of Bill's projects, be that to those with a positive prediction, a negative prediction, or like the Copacabana, it's right on target. All very meaningful to have that information at my fingertips. I also make it an important part of our team meetings that I call out the super successes as well as the challenges. So for me, I like to use the BST Insights filter capability to help me quickly find those projects and project managers. So I define a super success in 2 ways. The first is I use the predicted net labor multiplier to be in excess above our goal as one of the criteria. So let's say I'm going to use 3.5 as my predicted net labor multiplier. As I key it in, you see that the portfolio is dynamically changing. It's beginning to apply the filter and show the projects that meet that criteria. But for me, there is a second part of that criteria, and I think it's as important as having the net labor multiplier in excess of goal, and that's the predicted monetary amount. And so here I can also put in, say, I want to know projects that are in excess of a $15,000 monetary impact. It really is the combination of the two, because having just a net multiplier exceed goal, which happens to be a small commercial value, might not be as impactful as those that are bigger. So as I complete that filter, the project portfolio has immediately been narrowed down to the 2 projects that meet that criteria. The first being the Adelaide projects of Lexi's. Now, this certainly has started strong and is predicted to end strong. I do see some spots along the way where it takes a dip, and that's something I think I just would want to work on with Lexi. I mean, no doubt it's predicted to end up in a very positive spot, but I'll work with her to see if we could smooth that out a bit. But the one that's really caught my eye is W Barcelona of Pamela's. Strong start, strong finish, that easy trajectory up. So this is one that I'd like to bring into the team, and I actually like to talk to Pamela about in more detail. Oh, there's Pamela, do you have just a moment, please?
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
Good, good. Hey, I'm preparing for the team meeting this afternoon, and you know I often bring in the super success projects. So I'm working in BST Insights, and when I filter for my super success projects, the W Barcelona comes up.
Yes.
And what is impressive to me is not only the strong start and finish, but that smooth upward trajectory. So I'm interested to hear a little bit, what have you done to help that trajectory stay on course?
Well, with BST Insights, it's easy, it's accurate, and it allows me to view my project in real time. That way, if I need to make any changes, I can, to ensure a higher profit.
Awesome. If you don't mind, I would love for you to kind of share your story at our team meeting later today, if that's okay with you.
Sounds good.
Before I let you go, I also want to talk about the Guggenheim.
Yes.
Yep, we've been at that one
We have.
a long time, but let's take a look at that while I have you for just a few minutes.
Sure.
I'm going to come up here, and let's use the BST Insights find to just bring up the Guggenheim. Okay, as I do, it's just as we, I think, remembered it last, right? We had a rough start, but really appreciate you staying committed.
Absolutely.
Using the factors and the signals that BST Insights is giving. We're starting to head in the right direction. So let's just keep doing what we're doing.
Absolutely.
I'm certainly here to help, and let's use BST Insights to help us get there.
Sounds good.
Awesome. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Well, thanks to BST Insights, my team and I are clear as to where we are, where our projects are going, and the proactive steps we can take to ensure success. Well, I would say it has been a great day for our entire project team as they have experienced the journey to project intelligence, to the day in the life of their project. But you know what? It's a huge day for BST Global. It's our big day because right here, right now, we're announcing the launch of 3 industry-first products. BST Insights. It is the Waze for projects, that AI-powered predictive solution for your project managers. Audere, smart resource management solution for your project teams. And BST 11 work management, consumer grade, intuitive, smart project planning and resource management solution for project operations. There really only is one question left to answer. When? Well, let me tell you, BST Insights, Audere, and BST 11 Work Management will be ready for you on July 14, 2023. It's our big day, and we're not done yet. Please welcome back Javier Baldor as he has one more thing to share.
Well done, Deb. Oh, that was cool. I do have one more thing to share with you. In our research and focus groups with project managers and project team members, we also heard something very clear be shared with us. And that was this notion that we are drowning in information but starved for knowledge. We asked why. We heard from them directly that there are silos of information throughout their consultancy. A CRM data silo, an ERP data silo, a human capital management data silo, a project information management silo, and on and on and on. We heard about significant concerns about cybersecurity threats and ransomware attacks that are taking place in the world. And also that the fact that there is no landing strip in effect, because the data was so disparate, disjointed, and disconnected, they could not take advantage of these exciting and emerging technologies like AI and machine learning. Our vision is simple going forward. We're going to create, foster, and empower the data-driven consultancy of the future. And we're going to do that with big data. There will be 3 design pillars behind everything we will do going forward. First of all, we're going to unify things and unify your data. We're going to leverage Azure Data Lake technology to bring together BST data with non-BST data. How might that look? You could leverage our BST ERP or work management solution in concert with your preferred CRM system or human capital management system or BIM system or project information management system. Whatever data ecosystem you have in place, you can keep and bring it together in a unified manner. You can then correlate data, mash it, and glean insights from it. One of the trends that we heard from our clients is the move towards sustainability and the ESG initiative. With big data coming from BST, you'll be able to take project data from the BST work management solution or ERP solution and correlate it and mash it with environmental data, social data, and governance data to glean insights from your big data platform and transform your consultancy. It'll be secure. So this Azure Data Lake will sit in an Azure cloud. And it'll be smart. When your data is unified, you have the opportunity and prize to leverage AI and machine learning on top of all of that data and glean very powerful insights to better run your consultancy. There's such promise and prizes before us in the leveraging of AI and machine learning, not only with Net Labor Multiplier that Deb kindly demonstrated, but also in the estimating phase of projects, project execution, revenue forecasting and predictions, cash predictions, many, many cases. The journey continues. We invite you to be a trailblazer. What do I mean by that? Go to bstglobal.com/trailblazer and express your interest and secure your spot to embrace BST Insights, Audere, and BST 11 in your consultancy. As we've previewed these solutions to firms in advance of this great event, we've seen tremendous interest in these offerings. So we invite you to go to bstglobal.com/trailblazer and express your interest and secure your spot. I'll leave you with one final sentiment. We've only just begun. As excited as I am to introduce, on behalf of BST Global with my colleagues, 3 industry-first products, unlike anything the marketplace has ever seen before, I'm even more excited about our future, a future where we will create, foster, and empower the data-driven consultancy of the future. We invite you to join us on the journey to project intelligence. Thank you so much for being with us here today. We wish you the very best and look forward to collaborating with you and your firm in the future. Thank you, and God bless you all.